Good evening everyone. This is an update for you as to where we are with regards to the assisted dying campaign. It's at a very crucial point. This is an important message. It's an important update. I'm not dressed for it. I was having a day in the workshop. I apologise for my appearance. It's not about me. So as most of you know that have taken an interest in this campaign and have supported me in my own crusade, the Commons voted in favour of assisted dying, and it went through all three readings and was passed on to the Lords. The Lords have now had their first and second readings of the bill. It's gone to committee stage at the Lords, and then there will be a third and final reading, which is the vote. If that vote is successful, then it will get passed for royal assent, which means it becomes law. If they vote against it, that will be the end of it, not for months, but for years, literally years and years, possibly decades. So this is quite crucial. There is a time scale on this. This needs to go through the Lords by spring, otherwise it will run out of parliamentary time. So although it looks like a done deal, it's far from it. It's actually the clock that we're up against now, and I'd like to tell you why. As you know, there is a vast groundswell of public opinion in favour of assisted dying, and that was endorsed, if you like, by the House of Commons, who voted for it according to their own consciences, but also by listening to their constituents. So it appears that the time is right now to get this into legislature, but there are a few people in the House of Lords who are determined that this bill will not come to fruition. I don't think it's any coincidence that they are mainly members of the church, they're bishops. And by the way, this little message is not anti-church. I'm not anti-church, but it's not a coincidence that the bill has received over 1,000 objections, and that these objections have come from just 7 Lords, many of whom are bishops. Now, it's right that this bill should receive proper scrutiny. It's all part of the due diligence. I and others like me that are campaigning would welcome all constructive criticism, constructive comment in terms of tailoring and amending this bill to make it as safe as possible. That's the whole part of this process. Absolutely, I and others like me, we are wholly for that process. However, over 1,000 is not a few diligent Lords trying to improve the bill. It's a few anti-assisted dying Lords trying to sabotage it. When they knock it back to the Commons with over 1,000 amendments recommended, it's our opinion that it won't go back to the Lords in time, or won't clear the Lords in time to meet the watershed deadline. And what that means is that the bill will be wrecked. Now, I can't overemphasize this. A lot of work has gone into getting this bill this far by an awful lot of people. And some of those people include you that are watching this now, because you've been part of the campaign with your support, your emails, your letters. A lot of work over many, many years. I've only been involved a short time. It's been going on for decades. That could just be wrecked in the next few months by 7 people. Just 7. What I'm rather annoyed about is that these 7 people are unelected. You know, we live in a democracy whereby we elect the people that we want to represent us. I know it's full of faults, but at least it's a system where people like you and me get a say in our future. It's democracy at work. When you get unelected people who are on a personal crusade of their own, who are in a minute minority that seek to derail all the hard work and the effort that literally tens of thousands of people have put in, to me, that's more than a risk to a bill. I see it as a risk to democracy itself. Because basically these individuals are taking the view, well, we don't care what the country wants, we don't care what the Commons want. We'll have things our way. Now that's wrong. I know it, and I'm sure you know it as well. It's wrong. So, we're fighters, as you know. We've fought it this far. We're not for rolling over and giving up. So the fight is on again. The gloves have got to go back on. Another push is necessary. I shall almost certainly be in Westminster on Wednesday coming to do some lobbying in the Lords, which is being organised by Dignity in Dying as a response to this predicament. I think what our Lords need to understand is they need to understand that they're there to represent the will of the people and not to have everything their own way. Let us have constructive criticism by all means, but let us not have it blocked because they happen to be on a personal crusade which forms part of the church's policy. The church has said we're not in favour of assisted dying, so they're just carrying out their duty. That's a somewhat cynical point of view, I know, but I don't mind admitting that's how I feel. That's how I see it. So we can't stand for this. We mustn't allow them to roll us over. We must not allow them to exert their will over us. And for that reason, I've been on the Dignity in Dying website this evening, and I've sent an email to the Lords. I know that in the past I've explained to you it's letters that work with Lords, not emails, but the reason that Dignity in Dying are having an email push at the moment is that we need quick response to this current predicament. Quick response. And at Christmas time, approaching Christmas, the Royal Mail is not necessarily a quick response. So, I've been on their website, I've put in my name, my email address, the letter is already written for me, or the email, it's already written. It's picked a Lord at random. It's done that for me, and I've pressed send. I should say the whole process took me less than 60 seconds. Now you know what's coming because I keep asking you for your help. I'm going to ask you to do the same, and I'd really appreciate it if you would. I mean, I'm all fingers and thumbs on a phone. I did it in under 60 seconds. I did it. So I'm sure that most of you will take even less time. It's not a lot of time out of your day. If enough of us hit the Lords with enough emails Let's flood the Lords. Let's say to them, we're the ones that decide. We're the population of this country. You're there to serve us. You're there to make sure that our will is represented. Okay, let's make our point. They can make as much constructive criticism as they like, but political tactics like filibustering, when they're seeking to undo so much work by so many people, it's not on. It's not acceptable, and it's down to us to tell them so. So I'm going to give you an email address. No, sorry, it's not. It's a web address. It takes you through to the actual page on Dignity in Dying's website. And when you get there, you'll find the Lord has been selected for you. You'll find that the email has been written for you, and you've literally just got to put your details in and press send. They're not going to market you. They're not going to phone you up and try and get you to become a member or anything like this. This is about people power telling the Lord that we expect them to get their act together. Okay? Please, if you can, please do this. The web address is as follows. Dignity in Dying, all as one, dignity in dying.org.uk /act now, all as one. Act now, all as one. So that's dignityindying.org.uk /act now. If you could act now, and it will take you less than 60 seconds, you'll be hopefully amongst the many hundreds of people that do, because my colleagues that are campaigning for this will all be asking their friends and associates to do just the same. If enough of us make our voices heard in the Lord's, hopefully we can show this charade up for what it is and get this debate back on track again. That's all we want. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.